Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're sharing a story that's, well, it's truly remarkable and pretty unsettling. I think it's one that will definitely stay with you. It's not just an analysis, it's really a chilling story about two lives, twin sisters, Sunny and Gina, their bond, something often seen as almost sacred at sire. It spiraled into something truly horrifying. We're tracing their story, this relentless rivalry that tragically led to a shocking crime. We want to understand the threads that wove this really tragic tapestry together.
Yeah, and what's particularly compelling, I think, is how being twins, that unique shared experience, combined with a really, really challenging childhood, it set them on paths that seemed different, but ultimately they converged in this incredibly dramatic and violent way. There's a lot going on psychologically there.
Absolutely. So our story begins with Sunny and Gina. They were born April 4th, 1974, just 5 minutes apart. Sunny arrived first, which automatically made her the older sister. And that status, it kind of granted her a different standing in their family, especially given their background, where age and birth order often carry, significant weight. Their early childhood was, well, anything but stable. Mm-hmm. Their parents divorced when they were only 3. Kids were split up initially. Sunny stayed with their mother. Gina went with their father. But then their father remarried fairly quickly, started a new life, and sent his children, including Gina, back to their mother. And their brother was really struggling, working low-paying bar jobs, just trying to make ends meet for 6 kids. It got worse, heartbreakingly so, because she started gambling away what little money she had, hoping for a big win, but usually just losing it all. This created immense stress and, frankly, severe neglect for all the children. They were often left on their own, very little quality time, very little care. Then, when the twins were 12, their mother moved them all to Seattle, Washington. She was hoping for better work, a fresh start maybe, but the gambling addiction, it went with her. And that cycle of neglect, it just continued. Still unstable, still not properly cared for.
This period is so significant. It's not just about general neglect, though that's bad enough. It's the lack of consistent care, and specifically the mother's favoritism towards Sunny. That likely created a really difficult attachment dynamic for Gina, made her feel inherently less than from such a young age, Even though they shared hardships, that difference mattered. It set a very unstable foundation.
Yeah, that insecurity, it becomes tragically clear later. So eventually, their mother, really unable to cope, reached out to her sister in California. Sunny and Gina moved again, this time to live with their aunt. And for the first time, really, they experienced something like stability, a sense of safety. They actually adapted pretty well, and their aunt really tried to show them equal love and attention. But when their mother visited, which wasn't often, that favoritism towards Sunny, it was still there. Sunny, as the older one, was seen as more responsible, maybe more capable, and the mother's attention just gravitated towards her. Okay, fast forward to high school. Despite everything, both girls were incredibly intelligent, consistently got top grades, which, when you think about it, shows amazing resilience.
It really does. Remarkable, given their background.
But their personalities really started to diverge sharply then. Sunny was the popular one. Social, charismatic, always seemed to be the first to do things. Relationships, part-time jobs. She was always, as the sources describe it, kind of one step ahead. Gina, on the other hand, was shy, quiet, much more serious. And this simmering rivalry, it boiled over in a pretty major way when they were 15. During a fight, Sunny actually stabbed Gina with a pen.
Wow, with a pen. That's intense.
Just a scratch. It highlights how raw the conflict was even then. And shortly after that, Sunny was actually kicked out of their aunt's house. She'd have been secretly contacting their mother, which the aunt had forbidden because of the mother's, negative influence. And what's really chilling is Gina's reaction, or lack thereof. She seemed almost indifferent, maybe even a little relieved that Sunny was gone.
That really underscores a critical dynamic, doesn't it? When one sibling, especially a twin, constantly feels overshadowed or neglected or just dismissed emotionally, it fuels this profound sense of being less than, invisible almost. It's not just simple rivalry. It's like this desperate, often unconscious fight for identity within a really fractured family system.
Definitely. So after high school, their paths seemed to split even further. Sunny, with her great grades, got a full scholarship to university. Looked like a bright future, right? Gina, though, she didn't really like formal education. She decided to join the U.S. Air Force instead.
Two very different choices on the surface.
Exactly. But then, both of their lives took these unexpected kind of downward turns. Sunny started off well at university, enjoyed the social life, the learning, but she got involved with a bad crowd pretty quickly. Started prioritizing parties, lavish spending, using her scholarship money on expensive things to try and fit in with wealthier friends.
The pressure to keep up appearances.
Right. And it led to academic failure. She lost the scholarship, eventually dropped out and was just working part-time jobs. Gina's military career, even shorter. She hated the Air Force almost immediately, like within a month. She tried faking illness to get out. When that didn't work, she used a loophole available at the time, stating she was a lesbian to get discharged.
Okay, so out of the military quickly, then what?
She found work at a casino. And here's the tragic irony. She developed a severe gambling addiction, just like her mother.
Wow, history repeating itself.
Completely. Her life just spiraled. Massive debt, petty theft, stealing from friends, family. She even attempted suicide at one point. Her crimes escalated too, forging checks. And then she stole $40,000 from her aunt and uncle, the ones who had given her stability.
$40,000? That's serious.
Yeah. It landed her 10 days in jail and 3 years of probation. And sources note that by this time, Gina's personality had really changed. She became controlling, short-tempered, manipulative. A huge shift from the shy girl she used to be.
It's quite striking, isn't it? How, despite these different paths, academia versus military, both sisters ended up in such similar cycles. Financial trouble, deceit, even minor criminal behavior. It really highlights how deeply ingrained those patterns from their childhood were. Almost like they couldn't escape that instability, manifesting as this inability to cope with life's pressures in a healthy way, like a shared invisible weight.
That shared weight, it brings us right to their explosive reunion. Gina gets out of jail, has nowhere to go. She makes a desperate call to Sonny, and Sonny, maybe out of pity, maybe some lingering sense of obligation, agrees to let Gina move into her apartment. Now, from Gina's perspective, Sonny is living the high life. Nice apartment, designer stuff, a BMW, busy social life.
The perfect image.
Exactly. And seeing this just reinforces all of Gina's feelings of being the loser twin, always falling short, just like when they were kids. But here's the twist, the secret. Sonny was also drowning in debt. That whole lavish image, it was a total facade.
No. Yeah.
Maintained through credit card fraud, stealing from her own friends. So both sisters, though Gina didn't know it, were living these lives built on deceit, both trapped.
That is a profound psychological irony. Gina sees Sonny's life through the lens of her own failures and insecurities. She perceives Sonny's success as just another sign of her own inadequacy, completely unaware that Sonny is battling very similar demons behind that glossy exterior. It shows how our internal struggles can just warp reality, right? Creating this dangerous dynamic where each feels resentful because they think the other has it better.
And living under the same roof, both hiding secrets, conflict was basically inevitable. That old rivalry just flared right back up. Constant arguments over stupid things, clothes, makeup, who does chores. Neither wanted to do housework. It got so bad, Gina actually stole Sonny's BMW for a few days.
Stole her car. Okay, that's escalating.
Totally. And the tension finally snapped during this really violent argument. Sonny, just enraged, hits Gina in the face with a phone. Breaks her nose.
Ouch. Physically violent now.
Yeah. Neighbors heard the shouting, called the police. But when the cops showed up, Sonny was in for a shock. They weren't there about the fight. They were there for her. She had an outstanding warrant for credit card fraud, reported by her own friends whose card she'd been using.
Wow, so her own facade was crumbling too.
Big time. And in court, she apparently showed zero remorse. Said something like she didn't think her rich friends would mind her using their cards. She ended up getting probation. Okay, so while Sonny's dealing with her probation and legal mess, Gina's resentment is just festering. She's furious about the broken nose, still convinced Sonny has this perfect life while hers is a disaster. And she starts plotting revenge. She begins to impersonate Sonny.
Impersonate her? How?
Using their identical look.
Yeah.
She gets Sonny's ID, uses her car, her money, her credit cards. Fund her gambling, live this lavish life she wanted, spending thousands, exploiting the fact that people couldn't tell them apart.
That's crossing a major line into serious criminal territory.
Absolutely. When Sonny gets back from dealing with her probation stuff and finds out what Gina's been doing, she is livid, completely furious. She reports Gina immediately for theft, impersonation, fraud, everything. And this time, Gina gets a harsher sentence, 6 months in jail. Plus, she's ordered to pay Sonny $10,000 in restitution. And, adding insult to injury, her ex-boyfriend also files charges for check fraud against her around the same time.
Right, so the consequences are getting much more severe. You can see how that deep-seated rivalry, fueled by these feelings of abandonment and betrayal from Gina's perspective, it's morphed into something really calculated now. It's gone beyond just resentment. It feels like this destructive, almost pathological need to take Sonny down and to have power over her, turning those feelings of inadequacy into a direct attack.
Definitely. While Gina's in jail this time, she tries one last time to reconcile. She calls Sonny. expresses remorse, pleads for a fresh start, tries to appeal to that twin bond. But Sunny's had enough. She completely snaps, screams at Gina, tells her she wants nothing more to do with her ever. Don't come back to the apartment. Cut off completely.
Wow, that must have felt like the ultimate rejection for Gina.
It seems like it. Gina was reportedly devastated, felt totally abandoned by the one family member she thought deep down she could maybe rely on. And that devastation, that sadness, it quickly curdled into this intense, burning hatred for Sunny. She started talking to fellow inmates, saying she wanted to kill Sunny.
Kill her, saying it out loud.
Yeah. Apparently no one really took her seriously, just dismissed it as, jail talk.
Yeah.
Anger, frustration. But when Gina got released from prison, she couldn't shake it. That hatred was still there, consuming her. She needed revenge. So she recruits these two teenage boys, Yoshi, who was 15, and Bryant, 16. Both apparently came from difficult backgrounds, broken homes, looked up to Gina in some way.
Teenagers. How did she convince them?
She offered them $100 each, told them she just needed help removing items from Sunny's apartment. Made it sound like a simple theft or retrieval of her own stuff.
Okay, minimizing the severity.
Exactly. So, November 16, 1996. Gina puts the plan into action, rents a car, drives the boys to Sunny's apartment complex. But first, they stop at a store. And the items they buy, they tell a much darker story. Large trash bags, electrical tape, gloves, cleaning supplies.
Oh no, that doesn't sound like just removing items.
But not at all.
Yeah.
And Bryant, one of the teens, also managed to get a handgun. So they get to the apartment. Bryant goes first. Poses as a magazine salesman. Tries to get inside. Sunny's roommate answers, but she turns him away. He seems suspicious.
Smart roommate.
Yeah. But Bryant doesn't give up. He comes back, forces his way in, this time with the gun drawn. Immediately restrains the roommate with the tip they bought. Inside, Sunny hears the commotion from the bathroom. She reacts incredibly quickly. Grabs her phone, dials 911, whispers what's happening, then hides.
Thank goodness for that quick thinking.
Absolutely crucial. Bryant finds her hiding, ties her up too. Threatens both women with the gun. Initially, Sunny and her roommate think it's just a robbery. But then, the pivotal moment, Bryant calls out for Gina. Just yells her name.
Oh, and Sunny realizes.
Exactly. Sunny realizes her own sister is behind this terrifying attack. The shock must have been immense. But because Sunny called 911 from the bathroom, the police arrive incredibly fast. Like within 2 minutes.
Wow, that quick response probably saved them.
Almost certainly. Hearing the sirens, Bryant panics. Quickly unties Sunny and the roommate. Tries to backtrack, pretend it was all just a prank gone wrong. Gina and Yoshi, who were waiting outside or nearby, they try to just melt away, pretend they were involved, just happened to be there. Gina then makes a dash to return the rental car. Again, trying to impersonate Sunny to cover her tracks.
Desperate move.
Very. But Sunny, despite the trauma, she immediately tells the police everything. That Gina was the mastermind. And crucially, she warns them. My sister looks exactly like me. She might try to impersonate me. The police alert the rental agency. And when Gina shows up, trying to return the car as Sunny, they identify her.
Got her. And while Gina later tried to say it was just a prank, just trying to scare her, the planning, the items they bought, trash bags, tape, gloves, cleaning supplies, the gun that points very clearly to premeditation, to something lethal, not just a prank, the intent seems chillingly clear.
It really does. So Gina's arrested. But initially, she denies everything, sticks to the story.
Yeah.
Just a prank, wanted to scare Sunny, get her belongings back. She even tries to manipulate Sunny again, telling her not to trust the police. The case, as you can imagine, blew up in the media, national headlines. They quickly labeled them. Sunny was the good twin, Gina the evil twin.
That kind of simplistic media narrative often happens, doesn't it? Reduces complex people to easy labels.
Totally. And here's another unexpected twist. Sunny, despite everything Gina had done, she felt sympathy for her sister. Seeing her vilified in the media like that, she actually testified in court, asked for a softer sentence for Gina.
She did, after Gina tried to have her killed.
Yeah, which of course only boosted Sunny's good twin image even more. She got TV interview requests, a manager, even movie offers about their story, though she turned those down. But underneath that public image, the stress, the trauma, it took a massive toll on Sunny. It came out later that she had actually attempted suicide during this period.
That's heartbreaking, and it just highlights the huge gap between that public good twin evil twin story and the messy, painful reality, doesn't it? Sunny's secret struggles, her suicide attempt. It proves how misleading appearances can be. Neither sister fit those simple boxes. They were both deeply troubled, shaped by that incredibly difficult past, fighting their own internal battles.
Exactly. In court, Gina stuck to her defense. Just wanted to scare Sunny. Revenge for the broken nose. Some family members even testified for her, saying she was impulsive maybe, but not truly malicious. And hey, no one got seriously hurt in the end of it.
Minimizing again.
Right. But the evidence, the gun, the bags, the tape, it spoke volumes about premeditation, planning a murder, planning a cover-up. The court saw through it. Gina was sentenced to 25 years in prison for attempted murder and conspiracy. Bryant, the older teen, got 16 years. Here she got 8. Years later, while still in prison, Gina finally admitted it to the media. Yes, she did intend to kill Sunny that day. Said she was driven by pure hatred, this overwhelming feeling of betrayal.
An admission after all that denial.
Yeah. She was also diagnosed while incarcerated. Personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, conditions often linked to a lack of empathy, disregard for others. Interestingly, she used her time inside to get a degree in social and behavioral sciences. She said she wanted to understand her own behavior, figure out why she did what she did.
Trying to find answers within herself? That's a complex turn.
It is. But what about Sunny? After the trial, Sunny just vanished, disappeared from public life. She was rarely seen or heard from again. Just a few reports over the years of minor arrests, possibly for theft, echoing those earlier issues. Her mother even worried she might be dead at one point.
The trauma must have been overwhelming, causing her to just retreat entirely.
It seems likely. Now, Gina, after many years in prison, did express deep regret, shame. She said she finally realized Sunny's life wasn't perfect either, that Sunny had struggled immensely too. She felt real remorse for the pain she caused. In 2018, at age 44, Gina was released. After serving 20 years, she actually received some support from fans, people who had followed the case. One even offered her $100,000.
Wow. Public perception is strange.
Isn't it? She reconnected with her mother, who unbelievably was still gambling. Brian and Yoshi were also released after serving their time. And the last known update on Sunny, when she was 45, she was arrested again, another minor crime, thought to be theft, and then she disappeared again. Her whereabouts today are completely unknown.
It's just such a chilling story. And it really serves as this complex reminder of how deep childhood trauma, those unresolved sibling dynamics, how they can just echo through decades, leading to utterly devastating outcomes. And the fact that one sister, Gina, seems to be trying to understand, maybe even reconcile with her past, while Sunny remains lost. It just tragically highlights these enduring psychological scars. Some wounds run incredibly deep.
Yeah. This deep dive into Sunny and Gina's lives, it's revealed such a complicated and ultimately tragic story.
Yeah.
Where this incredibly close bond, the twin bond, was just shattered by neglect, by rivalry, and then shocking violence. It really leaves you thinking about the lasting impact of our earliest experiences, doesn't it? And the intricate, sometimes really dark side of human relationships.
And perhaps the most unsettling question it leaves us with is, in the face of conflict, that deep betrayal, that profound, is true reconciliation ever really possible? Or are some bonds, once broken like that, just destined to stay fractured, leaving only unanswered questions behind?
A powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If you found this story as compelling and thought-provoking as we did, please do make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support.